There we go. Well guys, today I've got another cannabis company to cover. Today I'm going to talk about Curaleaf. They are a American company based out of the States, a little bit different than Trulieve, but definitely a contender. So I wanted to keep going through these companies and make my way through each one individually, and then we'll do a big comparison where you guys will vote for the winners and see which company is your favorite. So we'll start with a company overview. I'll do some quarterly news, some financial highlights. We'll talk a little bit about the near future, the price to sales ratio, and finally whether it's a buy for me or not. So without further ado, let's talk about Curaleaf. By the way guys, if you're new here, my name is Sean. I do personal finance and investing videos, and right now we're making our way through some cannabis companies. So if you've missed the video on Trulieve or the one on Tilray, here are the links to those, and I'll leave them in the description as well. So let's do a company overview on Curaleaf. So first and foremost, it is a company that grows cannabis. It's also an R&D and comes out with its own branded products. Now the USA, when it comes to marijuana kind of legislation, is slowly approving these, but on a state basis. It's not, cannabis isn't acceptable overall as a country from a federal law yet. So how this works and how companies have been expanding is actually from state by state, and that's by also producing and selling the cannabis in the same state. So that means that actually Curaleaf also has dispensaries, and they are now reaching across the country. And this map shows you different spots across the US where you can find Curaleaf stores, but also flip it to this map from the investor presentation, which shows other activities such as cultivation that they have in other states. And you can see like they actually have quite the reach, or at least some activity in a lot of the US states right now. Now I did skim through their investor presentation, which I'll show some highlights for you in this video, but you can already tell that it's a very different type of company from one like Tilray. It's got a more warm, I almost want to say family type atmosphere, but it's just a different company culture. It makes them stand out, and I think appeal also to a bit of a younger crowd, and that's just sort of the vibe I'm getting from their presentation. So there are several brands that fall under Curaleaf. There's actually about 250 different SKUs. First is the original Curaleaf brand that sells vape oils, concentrates, flour, pre-roll pods, lotions, capsules, mints, edibles, etc. There's also a Curaleaf Hemp brand, which is like hemp CBD products like skin creams, body lotions. There's also the Curaleaf Select, which sells oils, edibles, CBD, beverage enhancers, and dummies. The beverage enhancer is a new one that just came out. And then Uku, I think that's how you say it, or Yuku, which also looks like it says oils and pre-rolls and marijuana flour. It just has, again, a little bit of a different brand on that one as well. So lots of different products that you can buy under the Curaleaf name. Now, Curaleaf also has plans to expand to Europe, which makes it sound very similar to Tilray. I will talk a little bit more about this in another section of this video, but very interesting that they're not, well, they are actually very focused on the US right now, but they have recently made an acquisition that expanded them to get a little bit of a hold in Europe. Okay, so let's talk about some of the highlights from the last quarter. So we'll just pull up the Q1 investor presentation here. They've recorded over a revenue of over 260 million, 170% growth of that year over year. They've recorded an adjusted EBITDA of 63 million, which is a growth of 213% year over year. They've raised $241 million in a public offering and $50 million from a tack on to the existing secured credit facility. They've closed the quarter with 102 retail locations and 1,992 wholesale partner accounts. They've launched Select Squeeze. That's that beverage enhancer that is kind of a liquid you pump into your water or drink, and to date has the widest cannabis product launch in the nation. So, and I believe that means, I think, like most different types of products. The retail revenue grew 14%, which is a 231% increase year over year, and wholesale revenue grew by 12%, which is a 254% growth year over year as well. So overall, these highlights sound pretty good. It looks like Curaleaf is moving in the right direction with all of their products, with their production, etc. Now, those, while the revenue is maybe a little bit modest right now, those growths, that 14% growth, 12% growth, those are actually quite significant for them on a percentage basis. So it just shows, that they're still kind of a growing company. So I'll just jump into a couple of those highlights really quick. The financial one specifically, we can see this slide here. Their revenue has been increasing and their adjusted EBITDA has been increasing in the right growth. Now, it's important to note that it's actually like Curaleaf is still not profitable, even though these numbers look very good. Their earnings have still been negative, so they're not a profitable company. Now, while the earnings are still negative, it's becoming less negative in the last 2 years, and I can show you kind of the sheet here from Yahoo. Again, moving in the right direction, but I would be lying to you if I said that it's profitable. However, there is a little bit of a path to profitability, and we may as well talk about that in the next section right now. So let's just talk about the near future of Curaleaf. So like I said, the earnings are still negative, but becoming less negative as time goes on. And since the adjusted EBITDA is also increasing, that's a good sign. Now, I'll just highlight one thing for you here. When you compare the gross profit on retail and wholesale revenue from 2018, 2019, and 2020, you can see $275 million for 2020, and that margin between the costs of the goods sold and the managed revenue has been increasing. So the profit margin is also going up with these numbers year over year, which is what you want to see. So eventually, the profits should get this company kind of in the black and increase. And as they're increasing their top line, they're on the path to that profitability. So that's good to see. Now, the other highlight is actually in the post first quarter highlights, that first bullet, which is the acquisition of MMAC or EMMAC. I'm not sure if that's the right way to spell it, but that is the company that has given Curaleaf a presence now in Europe. And if you skip a couple slides down, you can see here where it says going international, that Europe has the potential to have an addressable market of 229 billion. There's 748 million people in Europe. In 2020, the legal cannabis market was 758 million. So Curaleaf is kind of defining the reason that they chose to make this acquisition, and they took the company formerly called MMAC and called it Curaleaf International. So it's got 8 hectares of licensed cultivation, ability to expand to 20, import and distribution capabilities in the UK, Germany, Italy, Switzerland, and Portugal. They've got 2 operating EU GMP processing facilities and labs, and pharma grade capabilities. And I really want to draw the attention though here to, we believe, the last bullet where it says, we believe that the first mover advantage is decisive in expanding market share. And the thing is that this slide makes you kind of think that Curaleaf is the only player now in Europe. However, we know from the Tilray video, Tilray's been there for quite some time as well. So they definitely do have some competition in this space. In fact, a lot of the same countries that MMAC was operating in, due to federal regulations, are the same countries that Tilray operates in as a medical cannabis provider. So I don't want you to think that Curaleaf has no competition in Europe. So let's just look quickly at the price to sales ratio on Yahoo, and it is just under 13, making it, again, a little bit more attractive maybe than Canopy Growth, but a little bit higher than Trulieve still. Now, I am going to do a video where I compare a bunch of cannabis companies, and this ratio will become very important at that time. But for now, it's the only fundamental I'm looking at, and I want to leave something for that video. All right, so let's talk about whether I think Curaleaf is a buy or not. Overall, I do think it's a strong contender. I like the size of the company. I do like its presence in the US. I kind of would have preferred that it sort of stuck to what it was good at, but that's good that they have this vision to expand to Europe as well. Someone should just let them know that there's some competition out there as well. I also kind of like the feel of the stores. I like that they're kind of marketing themselves to a wider demographic and not just sort of one age group, but it's kind of this cannabis product for anyone type of feel. So I'm definitely putting this one on the watch list right now. I think that because Trulieve is kind of they're profitable, their revenues and their earnings are up, that gives them a little bit of an edge to me over Curaleaf. But again, there are other things to like about Curaleaf too. So this one's on the watch list for me right now, and definitely kind of in the top. Just maybe not a buy right this moment. I think I would like to go through the rest of the companies before I decide that. So I will put a star next to this company on my list, and stay tuned to the channel if you guys are interested. Remember to hit that subscribe button to be notified when I drop that comparison video, and other profiles of other cannabis companies as I come out with those as well. So that's all I got for Curaleaf, guys. Let me know in the comments, what do you like or not like about this company? Is it a buy for you? And we can discuss it down there. Until next time, have a great week, spread the wealth, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye. So we'll just start with a company overview, talk about some quarterly news. So we'll start with a company overview. I will do